Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill.
How are you, man?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
I feel like you don't even believe that.
No, I'm pretty good is what I could give, honestly. I'm pretty good.
What's going
Yeah.
on, man? Why frustration? It's too early to
Oh,
be frustrated.
well, no, it's just I'm moving today, and I'm just the funness of moving is just even when you have it always planned out, and there's just always stuff you forget. So it's
So,
not a big deal. It's just kind of those game day nerves,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the internet is already off, so Jake is hotspotting this morning.
Yeah, so I'm not like
Honestly, so far, man, the connection is better here than when you're at the farm.
Oh, the farm's been crazy lately. I don't know what that is. Their
Yeah.
internet's it used to be actually the best place. Like their internet was amazing. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore, he says.
Yeah. So
Man, how was yesterday?
it was good. It was busy. We've got client I guess when you're working with other people that aren't the client per se, but they're still the client.
Mhm.
We have one of those. And so we got kind of our first set of feedback on that yesterday, which was really good.
Nice.
Really positive. It was well executed on their end because they had thoughts, but did a really good job of communicating it. So it's good. We're going to have a call today on that. So that was good. Lots of work, lots of packing, lots of back and forth, lots of different things yesterday. So it was of all the Thursdays, it was the thirstiest Thursday.
The most Thursday of Thursdays.
Yeah, Thursdayest Thursday of Thursday.
Good morning, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
What is the L for? Lawrence, Larry, Leonard.
You'll never guess.
Levi.
It's a family name, so Levi. No.
If it was Levi, I think Levi would just melt into a puddle. Like,
oh my gosh, we actually I made a formal name change after he and I met the first time.
Oh man, that's so funny.
It's actually Lovell, Lovell, and Lovell.
Okay, yeah, never would have guessed that.
Jake Lovell. Yeah, it's a family name. It's an old school name.
Okay, old school name. Okay.
Yes, that's what that means. Old school.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So, man, I think I might have set a record yesterday without like really realizing it. So we had Zoom we had this in the morning, and up until 6:45 last night, so almost 12 hours, there was 30 minutes that I was not on Zoom all day yesterday.
I mean, that sounds like a PR. Not about you, but for me, that would be.
Yeah, there's a 30-minute gap from like 12 to 12:30, and then realized that there was a networking call that I was going to miss, so I hopped into there, and it's part of this Noah Kagan Slack group, the underdogs, and so it just kind of goes on, right? So people come in and come out, and so when I wasn't on calls, the conversation was good, so I would go back into there, we'd all chat, and then I'd hop out for a call, and then so this has kind of been my Thursday routine, and so literally from 12 until 12:30. Was the only time I was not on a Zoom call because I was in there. I'd hop out for a call. I'd hop back in there, hop out for a call, hop out for a call, So, yeah, so we got done at like 6:45 last night. So, super long day.
So were you mainlining Espresso about 12:31 p.m.?
I like this group a lot. So, when I realized that like that was running, I was like, I don't, any kind of tired or fatigue thing that I was dealing with or struggling with kind of fell away. But honestly, man, when like I don't know how this works for everybody else, but for me, like when my day is stacked like that, I don't really have time to kind of like sit down and, oh man, I'm tired, right? It's those big long gaps between things that causes that to happen for me. So I can go for a while. I just need it to be all consecutive because when there's gaps, that's when I get lazy.
Yeah, object in motion stays in motion.
Yes, absolutely.
It's true for humans too. Yeah, I agree. It's the long ones, especially like after lunch and you've eaten a heavy lunch and then you have a 2-hour gap before your next Zoom call. It's like, whoa.
That's why you don't eat lunch.
Oh no. No. Hey,
Okay.
do you remember who you're talking to?
I just now, sorry,
Wow.
well, I forgot.
Wow. I know. I don't eat heavy lunches. I don't do it
Yeah.
for that reason.
So I've kind of been on this like 1 meal a day plan, which has kind of been interesting. I like it's not even intentional. Some days, like I'm just working, and I normally kind of stack my days to where like I have my productive, busy, creative time in the mornings, and then meetings after lunch. But what happens is I'll get excited about talking to someone. And I'm like, lunch is the only time I have today. Can we chat? It's just kind of like you in school, right? It's the same thing.
Sure, except every day.
Yes, yeah. Except it's every day, and meals are important. I need to be doing a better job of that.
I mean, if you like energy and health and living, yeah, meals are good.
Yeah, kind of helpful on that front.
Yeah. Outside of water, there's probably and air. They're probably
the most basic of human needs. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you have? Okay, so you've had a lot of writing this week. Are you done with it all?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hit my preemptive BIL bet that we didn't publish. I hit it Thursday about 4:00.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, okay. I felt good. But it's once again, man. People get tired of me saying this. It's the Parkinson's law thing. Dude. I knew today and half of yesterday would basically be gone. Mm-hmm. So it's like I got to get this done, and it got done.
I hit my number yesterday because a new person joined sales practice lab, so that was nice.
Yay!
Yeah, the traffic and funnels guys, Taylor Welch and those guys. Oh man, yeah, I've heard some interesting stories about those guys. They're now in the sales coaching, sales training game, and a friend of mine was like, "Hey, my sales guy's been seeing their ads," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm familiar with that," and he was like, "How close is that to your stuff?" And I was like, "I mean, you're kind of putting me in a spot to where like I kind of have to like toot my own horn a little bit." And he was like, "Good," because I told him I didn't trust those guys, but I did trust you. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool," so. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, I was excited about that. It was a good conversation.
Yep, that's good. Well, congrats on hitting that because that's a good goal to hit.
Yeah. It was a solid revenue goal for the week. So.
Yep, that's good.
So you're moving all day today. So no writing, no working, nothing.
I've got a few things. They're on my calendar. I'm working around them. Luckily, I don't have to be out today. Today's just when it starts. So yes, we're gonna go with the 80-20 rule. We're gonna say 80% today and 20% tomorrow, and do it that way. As
like moving effort.
Mm-hmm, yeah, because I've got movers coming, and so the 80 will get done. That way, the 20 is on me, and I'm not gonna put the pressure of that happening today. Between today and tomorrow, I'll get my stuff done.
Okay, so I have a question, right? So you have these movers coming.
Mm-hmm.
How do you determine, and it might just be size, like what they're going to move and what you're going to move?
Well, I'm basically playing cleanup behind them. Like there's always stuff that you gotta clean. Yeah. There's small stuff left behind. There's stuff that you didn't pack, so they won't pick up. There's always stuff like that. And I know this because I was a mover in my 20s, and I was on the other end of it. So I have lots of repetitions around that to go everywhere. These stuff. So yeah.
So they're doing the most of the moving.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, why wouldn't you have them do more? Okay.
Well, no, the goal for me was to get as much packed and done before they got here today, so that they could take off everything that they could. And I'm at like 95% packed right now, so we're in a good place. It's just I know the game.
It's about time management, right? The faster they can move, the less you have to pay. So the more prepared you are, the better it is for everybody involved.
Absolutely. That's where it's at. Because then if they get too stale, then they're going to leave and go get lunch, and then they're going to be gone for a while, and then I'm going to be waiting around. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a Seinfeld episode.
The movers are coming. Man, I have a crazy full day again. So normally this goes longer, but we're going to do a short episode today because Jake has got to get some moving done. And then I have a session with Shivam. And then after that, I have a session with a client because we got a CRM built. I just kind of need to show it to him, figure out what kind of like lagging little things we need to do to clean up there. Then I'm going through a messaging process with a friend of mine named Ashley. So she's going to help me kind of like look at my messaging and positioning because once again, we all have kind of flawed views of the things we do ourselves. Yeah. So getting another set of outside eyes to kind of help me with that stuff.
Love that.
Thank you. Yeah. I figured you would. Huh?
I said I did that this week too. I put up a couple emails that I wrote for a client in my BMSU coaches kind of like peer review. We have a channel. It's like peer review. Cool. And once again, it's like, oh gosh, yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I like that. That's good. I'm going to change that.
And you'll like this because Ashley is actually part of the Story Brand Network. She's leaving the Story Brand Network, but she's gone through the training and done all that stuff. So awesome. Then after that, I have a phone call with a closer who I think I have a spot for. So I'm excited about that because he's been in some rough spots. So I'm hoping to get him kind of into like a good, comfortable spot. And then I got to reach out yesterday from a good friend of mine who needs a very customized, like automated process built for like a new piece of business that she's working on. So I'm going to go meet with her, talk about that whole process and see if there's a way to turn, I learned this really recently, and this is kind of a cool idea. If you have to build something for a very specific use case, like zoom out a little bit and turn that use case into like a SaaS product essentially, right? So I'm going to go have a conversation with her about like what she needs tied together and automated and all this other stuff. And then it might become like a SaaS play eventually, but we'll see. It's too early to figure that out. She has no interest in becoming a SaaS company owner, and the people who she's working with don't either. So it should be fine. But there's some things to kind of talk about in that process. And that's going to be from like 3 to 6 because it'll be a patio hang at her place.
So maybe I heard that wrong. You're trying to talk her into making a SaaS product and they don't want to? Okay.
Nope. I was saying, hey, there's room to turn this into a product. So that way any development costs that you guys incur could be pushed forward into like the form of a new business venture, Okay. And she's like, no, we just want this for our internal use. It's like, cool. But if I help you build this thing out, you guys wouldn't have a problem with me potentially turning it into a product that I could sell and market to others. And she was like, no, I don't care.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. I feel like a lot of SaaS products, at least used to, maybe not now, started that way. It was an internal tool that was to solve a problem. We're like, oh my gosh, this is really good. We should be selling this.
Yes. Yeah. There's a great SaaS group on Facebook actually, and it's all these essentially consultants who go out and they talk to business owners and they're like, what are you dealing with? Well, I'd like this and this and this to be connected. And that's their jumping off point for creating like very small, tight SaaS companies, like not trying to be huge, but just trying to be profitable and very niched and very targeted. And I was like, that's a really smart idea.
I like that. Especially for people that love doing that. That sounds like awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I have that this evening, and then I have a catch up with a buddy tomorrow, but it's kind of it. So very, very full day today. It looks like essentially another, well, I had the in-person meeting, but up until that, I should be on Zoom fairly consistently.
Gotcha. Cool. I was checking to see if there's anything else on my day. My big 3 for the week, because I was trying to get some interviews done as well, and I did get one done. And I had a particular set of social media stuff I wanted to post, which I did. So that's good as long as nothing blows up today. It's going to be a week.
Not putting any pressure on that for things to go smoothly. As long as nothing changes minutely today, it's going to be fine, and then cut to like 15 minutes later and it's, you're sitting at the table and the room's on fire around you. Yes, this is totally okay. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Oh man,
it's no big deal anymore. Like I've become so much of even a minimalist in my age that even if I break stuff, it's like that sucks, but whatever.
Yeah. That's like I think the best place to be.
It is. It's really nice.
All right, man. Well, we talked about calling this like early, but like I've got muscle memory of like wanting to talk to you for the full hour. So
Let's do the normal show. Let's do the 8:15. Let's chat some more though. The standard show, and then
okay. You sure?
Do that. Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that doesn't put you in the flaming room.
The flaming room is outside of my control.
Yeah, if you had spit whatever it was in that cup out from that joke, that would have made my day. Like,
man, can we rewind that?
Everything else could have gone disastrously.
I really
Dieter
like
is here. Oh my God, Dieter is the freaking man.
there's a Dieter.
He is the guy who I bought the iPhone from this week. So when I make my outstanding appearance and landing on Clubhouse, it will be due to Dieter,
Awesome.
or as he is sometimes referred to, Dieter. So
Dieter. So did you get your invite from Dieter?
No, actually, Dieter is part of the Slack group, and he's actually a big cyclist, and so we got connected originally on a sumo bike ride, and he runs this community for cyclists, and so we're just down there chatting, and he's like, I'm in Arlington. I said, I'm in Fort Worth. And he was like, you need a bike jersey. And so he gave me one of his jerseys, and we kind of became friends from there. But super solid guy, actually.
Cool.
But yeah, so thanks for hanging out, Dieter.
Definitely. Good morning.
Yeah.
I was going somewhere with that flaming room. Oh, the spit take. I've always wanted to do a legit good spit take on camera because I've never done one. I've never really tried to do one. So
yeah,
that got a little memory there. I was like, I've always wanted to do a nice good spit take. Of course, you've also, when you're on a laptop, you don't ever want to do a spit take either. So it's a little conflicting.
Them fighting words. So, okay. Me and Dieter are trying to coordinate about like how I'm going to get this phone from him. And so he's like, oh, just come over to the house. I was like, okay, cool. So I go to his house, and it's in Arlington. And it was so funny because there was a wreck on the highway, and it has been so long since I've like really had to drive anywhere. Like traffic was a novelty. It was. I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. Like sitting in like bumper to bumper traffic just because I don't have to do it anymore. And so then I get to Dieter's house, and he was like, come on in. So I go in, and we're kind of chatting, and he's cooking, and then his wife comes home, and who I don't know. I've never met anybody other than Dieter and his family, and she comes in and she's wearing a mask, and I'm not wearing a mask. And so I was like, oh man, now I feel bad. And she's like, that's okay. I'm gonna go hang out in the room because I don't know who you are. And I was like, I should go. Like I should leave because this feels uncomfortable. And Dieter is he's just like, hey, it happens. Like he's just like the most laid back guy ever. It's so funny.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
does that mean you're saying his name wrong?
No, so Dieter is correct. For some reason, there's this joke of calling him Dieter.
Oh, Dieter.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, I see it now. I missed. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. So, yes. So Dieter's wife is. I found out immediately after this, a nurse, and had been working with like some COVID patients that day. So like she was doing it to be like nice to me, but
yes.
In that moment, I just took it of like, I'm the asshole here.
Oh,
worst.
I'm an asshole. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here's my daily reminder that I'm the asshole.
Have you seen that Key and Peele episode?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I don't think we're going to go into it because Key and Peele, but
yes. You want to talk about a slippery slope of references?
Oh yeah, but there was one line of the whole skit. Oh yes.
So it's funny because Melissa will go through like the top ones of like who's the asshole, because apparently there's this thing on Reddit where people talk about these situations, and so Melissa will read these things to me, and she's like, okay, who do you think the asshole is, right? And she'll read it to me, and I'm like, well, that person, and like we disagree on it so often, right? Because like for me, I'm always like, okay, who was the asshole first, right? So like one of the situations that we were talking about this week, person on a plane leans the seat all the way back. The person behind them is feeling crunched because they're tall, and they say, hey, can you lift the seat up? And they say no. So then that person calls over a stewardess and a flight attendant, excuse me,
right.
Calls over a flight attendant, gets the flight attendant on their side, and now they're both asking the woman to move her seat up, and they say, "Who's the asshole?" Well,
Ooh.
who do you think?
Both.
Why? Okay, why both?
Well, first off, I mean the reaction is the person who leaned the seat back. As long as the person behind them was somewhat kind about the request, then the kind thing to do would be like, okay, yeah, I don't need to lean my seat back. I'll put it back up for you.
All right. So let's talk about this though, right? Because because I think there's a gap between kindness and assholery.
Sure.
That's a word, right?
Sure.
So in my view, the guy who calls over the flight attendant.
Yes. I feel that too. That was my both. That was the second part of it. It's like, really, you're in such a situation that you have to call over a flight attendant to handle this situation.
Yes, absolutely.
But if
you can
pay
more
8 and he's legitimately uncomfortable, and the person in front of them is being,
Hold on. I'm 6'4", right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not 6'8". I pay extra to sit on the exit row. I pay extra to sit on the long, extra seat stuff, right? So if you're a tall person and you know that it's going to be cramped, you can ask, but like the other person isn't obligated to say yes, right?
No, but if you're not, and you're the a-hole.
No, that's not true. I disagree with that.
Yeah. See, so I thought you were rolling into this like new world of kindness here, and I'm.
Here's the deal. I would move my seat up, right?
Okay.
I would absolutely move my seat up.
Okay.
What I'm saying though is that by saying like, no, that doesn't make you the asshole.
Okay, so what are we measuring on here? Because to me, the measurement of the a-hole is when you assess a situation and you decide to do the non-kind thing, and it's pretty obvious what the kind thing is, like everyone would agree this would be a kind thing to do, and you're going to choose not to do it anyway. That's where you start veering into the a-hole lane.
I mean, veering towards, yes, but there's so unless
I guess you're in it or you're not. It's just how a-hole you about it. But
man, I think there's room in the middle.
No,
right?
Not for that, I don't think. Because I think
you have to be kind all the time, or else you're the asshole.
You can be an a-hole. That's fine.
But hold on. So for you, it's a switch. It's either like on and you're kind, or down and you're an asshole.
No, because not everyone agrees on what the kind thing is.
I know. That's what I'm talking about.
To me, that's where the gray area is. It's if you both don't agree, this would be kind. Yeah. So Dieter is also another tall fellow. We're about the same height, and I had this trick that whenever I'm on a flight by myself, like not with the girls, like I'm just like sitting up, like I've never sat up more straight in my entire life, right? And always, it's not always a woman. They'll look at me and oh yeah, I'll take care of you in a little bit, kind of thing, right. And then I'll get to move up and stuff unless it's packed. So yeah, it's kind of the thing. Yeah, that does work sometimes.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm not as tall as you guys. I'm 6'1", but I do have big feet too. I wear 13, and so I will do the same trick. I will sit up real tall, put my big old shoe out in the aisle, and kind of I have pretty wide shoulders for my frame, and so I'll just kind of do that same thing and be like, ugh. Yeah.
You make like the biggest to do of like sliding into the seat. Oh my God, is this overhead bin lower than it was last time? Oh
yes. Only when I sit down though. That's the only time it's necessary.
My hair barely fits under this thing. This is crazy.
I have to shave my head for this flight. Oh my gosh.
Shave my head for this flight. Oh man, that's funny. So she'll like quiz me. Yeah, she'll quiz me, and like sometimes she's like, "I don't understand you," and I'm like, "That's fair." That happens somewhat regularly, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Man. I love that sort of. But see, I'm an 8 on the Enneagram. I like conflict. I think it's fun to push through friction as long as everyone's friendly about it. We're not trying to like kill each other.
Oh man, no.
I know you hate it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I would move the seat up just because I wouldn't want to feel like the asshole. But like largely that's a personal subjective feeling, right? You could be like, hey, I'm not doing anything this chair wasn't built to do. It allows me to go back, so I'm going back, and my comfort is more important than how you feel about it. But that doesn't make you an asshole. you're an asshole when you're like, are you freaking kidding me? Like that. I mean, so depending upon how you respond.
I think it's both. I think the way you respond, definitely, it's two opportunities to be an a-hole.
You get not one shot, but two shots.
That's right. Like, let's switch it to an international flight that's 12 hours where people are trying to sleep. Like, then the person behind becomes the a-hole to me because the circumstances have changed.
Yes. Okay. Wait. What? So the length of the flight changes who is like the short-sighted person in the moment?
Yeah, because it's based on the circumstance that we're all going to be stuck in this plane and crunched up for 12 hours together. So there's going to be I think, a given that people are going to lean their seat on long flights. There just is.
But at 3 hours of a flight, if you want to lean your seat back, that makes you the asshole. Why?
Circumstances have changed.
Come on. No, man. Come on. I mean, I could be really tired on a 3-hour flight and want to lean my seat back. Right? And especially now with how easy it is to just upgrade for a little bit more leg room, right? Pay for the exit row, pay for that first seat. Like, it's not like you have to upgrade all the way to first class, which is going to like double your flight. I can see that being incredibly limiting, but
the problem with the exit row situation is that everyone knows about it. So it's almost never available anymore. Everyone knows.
So, well,
I wish back in the day, it was easy to do that. I remember doing that. But I flew to Utah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exit row was not available, and it wasn't even a full flight. But exit rows done.
What'd you fly on?
American.
You couldn't like upgrade and pay like 20 because like every time I've flown recently, you got regular seats and then you have extra legroom seats, and those are like $15 more, and then some are like big exclusive seats.
No. That's such a shame. Those extra legroom seats are like 2 inches tops.
Hey,
it's not
right? We're talking about, okay, you're optimizing for a different point, right? But if you choose to not buy that seat and get the regular seat, and then you're still like mad at this other person, that's not on them. That's on you, right? You could have paid a little bit more, had a little bit extra legroom, and then if that person wanted to lean their seat all the way back, you would be just fine.
Not if you're 6'4" or 6'8", you'd still have a problem. 2 inches isn't enough.
I mean, so at that point, that's a whole other discussion and problem.
Oh, different circumstances, you might say.
Well, hold on though, right? I'm 6'4", right? I don't always pay for the upgrade, but like, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain about my bad planning or my bad concessions and putting them on somebody else.
Yeah. Well, I agree. We haven't talked about that person at all yet. It's all been on the person in their seat. So I agree. Like, if you're 6'4", you need to plan better. And if you get stuck in a bad situation and someone in front of you is an a-hole, then you have some responsibility to take as well.
Yes.
I like Dieter's rules.
I like Dieter's rules as well. Right. Okay. Yeah. So let's get caught up. Right. So Levi, yes, they are entitled, but like, you paid for that space, you paid for that seat. You're entitled to do what the seat allows you to do. So if the seat goes back 3 inches and you want to rock that seat back 3 inches, that's kind of allowed. If the other person didn't plan well because they're 6'4" and they happen to be behind someone who wants to roll their seat back, you can ask. The ask does not make you the asshole. Calling over the flight attendant, hey, can you make this person like move their seat? That's what makes you the asshole. That's the thing.
I agree, but I also think the person in front of them is also being the a-hole there.
I think that's largely opinion driven. That's totally fine. You're allowed to think whatever you want.
I mean, there's your way and then there's the right way, as I could say.
I love Dieter's thing here, right? Be kind. Rule number 2: if the person behind you is kind, I'll move up and try to compromise. If they're not rude, it's on. I'll take my space and might just rip one for good measure. If it's a 12-hour flight, sir, you're probably ripping more than one. Let's be honest about it. No, but like this kindness thing is something I've been thinking about a lot because I've worked a lot of customer service jobs, right? A lot of them, and there's always exceptions to rules and stuff. And the exceptions are always made for people who are kind in the moment, right? The person who shows up and they're like mad about it, right, never gets the exception just based upon, well, yeah, you seem like a nice person, because you're just kind of showing that you're not with your entitlement. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of like journaling and thinking about like how kindness leads to exceptions and how we We judge ourselves by our intentions, but others by their actions. So we're willing to give ourselves exceptions for like not doing things that we tell other people that we're going to do, but we don't give that grace to anybody else, which is rather interesting. So
yeah, well, that's when you step into being a kind person, is when you do give those exceptions, regardless of what their actions are. That, to me, that's a truly kind person. But yeah, I agree on the. This is too much words for me this early, Levi. you're using like SAT, ACT words that
yes,
really
both individuals are experiencing anticipatable issues that occur on flights. Entrenching into the mindset is undiplomatic.
Mindset. Come on.
Man, Levi took some like Four Sigmatic tea this morning, right? You know, like the mushrooms that help you think. Yeah, man. Entrenching into mindset is undiplomatic and unkind. That, man, it's like I'm reading meditations right now. This is awesome.
Yeah, I can't undo that in my head right now. So sorry. Yeah. I was going to say that when I was a manager at the Gaylord Texan, that we had the ability, like you said, when people were kind, to make exceptions. They didn't make that distinction, but I can tell you the people that were completely rude got their keys put to the back of the road.
Oh, yeah.
And they got nothing from us. That the ones that were kind and that were legitimately trying to work with us got stuff comped, got, moved up. And I went and actually got cars for people that were like, family and were running late to the airport. Like, I got this. I got you. So there you go.
When I worked at, hold on, as long as you can pick things up and then put them down, Jake. Okay.
That's a skill. Don't yourself. That's a skill.
Okay. When I used to work at the AT&T like retail store and having to deal with the public and everything, you just take such childish glee off of like little things that like upset like customers, So like one of the things that we'd all do is we'd be like opening our registers and like counting money and doing all like the opening stuff, and people wouldn't read the big sign on the door that clearly had the hours on it, and they would come up and they would go clunk clunk, right? Yeah, exactly. Just like rattling that door against the lock, and we would all like just like wait for it, because like we wouldn't like look up and look at them, because like that's going to be, because they're going to be like the door, and then we got to be like the time, and all of that stuff. So you just kind of ignore it, but we're all like looking down and we're like, okay, he's about to do it. He's about to do it. Just trying to pretend like we're not paying attention to it. And then we'd all just kind of like, shoulder shake and laugh whenever it worked. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the worst people get no exceptions, right? I think that's rather interesting, right? And something to kind of think about, because we're willing to give ourselves like a whole lot of leeway that we don't give to other people as well.
It's true. So the whole kindness journey is, how far can you go past into that area of really a-hole people? How many of them are you willing to be kind to be kind?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep. Because that's the self journey of it.
So does that make you an asshole if you can't be kind to like assholes?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would say it just makes you less kind than those that are willing to. That's all. It's not like an indictment. It's just a scale almost, right? Like, this person is willing to be even more kind.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I'm not sure what the squeaky wheel here means, Levi, other than just being a salesperson, because that's what. Well,
no, I think you're asking, does the squeaky wheel get the kindness treatment? Like the person who's the squeaky wheel. Yes. I think that's a different thing altogether. I think that's more like that. It depends. Are they kind?
Well, like that's the thing, right? If I'm following up with someone about like payment or next steps or something else like this, and I come in there like a hot wind, just on them without any kind of kindness or any kind of, hey, is everything okay? It doesn't ever go the right way.
Yeah, I think the difference there is the squeaky wheel versus like the screeching wheel, where it's like every no matter how kind you are, if you're talking to me every 5 seconds, so I've now put you in a different category.
Yeah, is it the cart with the wheel with the flat spot, or is it the cart with the wheel that like is stuck and lodged because of all the hair it's picked up over the throughout the store over the years?
Yes. Well, Dieter, it was great to have you, man. We're actually I think we're getting ready to wrap here anyway.
Yes.
So go have a fantastic day.
Yes.
Dieter
works for the government, actually. Works for federal government. Oh yeah. No, man. there was a lot wrong with that, but we'll talk about that another time.
It was one of those. Yeah, never mind.
That was your eye just being like, "Hey, look at me! I'm gonna salute."
There was a lot of thought to it, but
Awesome. Thank you to Levi. Thank you to Dieter. Thank you to Michelle for hanging out with us. You guys are awesome. And man, enjoy moving because I would not. So
I'm gonna survive it with a good attitude.
yes, there you go. There you go. That's the most you can hope for sometimes.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Do you need anything today?
Movers at 10:30.
Movers?
Yep.
10:30. Okay.
Yep.
And in time to finish packing between now and
Yes.
10:30.
Yes.
Then I will give you some time. All right.